Ah, why is it not picking? I thought maybe when you put music and of course you start recording a video, both of them will work at the same time. If that feature was so functional, then it would have been one of the best in production of such videos, because a little music and of course we did some talking here makes sense a lot. Anyway, I think and hope that you're well wherever you are, and I believe that you're pushing on life well. I'm gonna tell you a story, and stories are very good sometimes because they make us realize of all the things that took place before we were born. As I understand, in my village, long, long time ago, there were people who used to go to bed, and of course, before sleeping, uh, they were told stories of what transpired before they're coming into the earth. I know you're looking at me and you're saying this man is not in his senses. No, 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 no. You are the one who is not in your senses, because I am very much in my senses. How can I sit here, you know, and just take my time to give you a story, and then you are there listening to me and you're saying this man is not well? I ain't uh, nuts. I am very much well. Now, story come. Story. I assume you're saying story come. Story. My friend says story come. Story come. Aha. Thank you. And the story I'm going to tell you is a little bit, weird, but in one way or another, it is so much educational. You ought to understand that our forefathers, or rather our parents who nurtured us, used to tell us stories. And the stories could be carrying a hidden message. For example, if you are newly married in my village, and then you are a lady, you always cook with the mother-in-law before now you're given permission to go and start cooking in your own house with your husband. So sometimes in the village, rain can start. Maybe the young man is in his house. The house is called a simba. Yeah, that small house that boys build before they become men. Now the boy is there relaxing, and of course, the daughter-in-law, or rather the wife to the boy, is she's doing, maybe she's cooking, she's doing a few chaos on the side of where the mother is. Then it happens that rain starts to rain. you know when it starts to rain, now the girl, she's busy. She wants, to fetch water because of the rain and so forth. But the mother, you know the mother-in-law will be very careful. Do you know what the mother-in-law will tell the lady? She'll tell her, well, I think you need to run to the other side of the house, because this rain uh, might block you on this side. Do you really think that the mother is telling the lady to run to the other side because of rain? Because this place also is a house. No, the message hidden in that particular speech of the mama to the daughter-in-law is that she knows that the son is sleeping on the Simba. Now, when the daughter-in-law goes to the other side, definitely things will have to happen. Maybe that time the mother-in-law is very anxious to see if the lady in a few months time will start vomiting. And the essence of vomiting, that means, or portrays a message that the lady is pregnant and the son has done the mother proud. Our parents sometimes cannot tell you directly, but that is something to think about. Now I was bringing you home so that we can be on the same page before I start giving you uh, this vital story. Well, we all know war. War is a very expensive thing, and very costly. It leaves wounds, it takes away life, and of course, it brings destruction of property. Now, it happened that in 1953, or rather 1945, when when England invaded Germany, during that Second World War, a lot of things happen. We read them in historical books and the annals of history. We all read that one. If you're so much interested in knowing what transpired during the Second World War, then definitely you will have to fetch books that speak about war. But if you're not somebody who is anxious to know the historical things that took place before you were born, because I know you were born recently, then definitely you will live without knowing what happened. That's why we have the Bible, the Word of God, and we read from it how Jesus walked the earth, and of course what transpired during his lifetime, the death and the resurrection, and the promises that he did make to us. All that one we find in the book of the Lord, that is the Bible. And of course, also, if you want to rub heads with people who are educated, definitely you have to seek and seek for education. Read novels, of course. The people who write novels, they're there. Read the books that speak about the Word of God. You can, or rather, you will be so much knowledgeable. Knowledge is very expensive, but if you take your time, you will come up to standard. And it's so much good to be informed. When you're discussing with other friends, definitely you'll have something to chip in that particular discussion. It's just like a group of small boys who like watching football, Manchester and of course Arsenal. You know, when you don't watch such football, you cannot even know one player, the name of a player. But if you're keen, maybe you know Arsenal is playing tomorrow, or rather Manchester is playing today. Definitely, you're also interested in knowing who is the goalkeeper of Manchester United, who scores, you know, where who got the penalty, because you know those people who like scoring with only penalties. Now, that way you can share knowledge with other people and other friends. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you just ought to understand that life is so sweet and so precious, and that is a gift that God has given us, and we have to live it up to the standard, and things that can enable us to live life up to standard. You know, sometimes you can be in America, but you are seated here in Kenya. You know, you can converse with people of America, England, France, whatever in this world, because of technology. If technology had not come, then definitely we would be still living in the dark ages. Okay, because we understand during that time our parents used to, you know, write letters, and the letter could take up to 1 month to reach to where it is going. But today it is just in a snap of a finger, and your information has reached where you want. Now, back to our story. Do you really want me to tell you a story? A story of war. And I have said war is expensive. War is a wrong thing. War takes away life. War brings destruction of property and injuries to our hearts. And those people who have seen real war, I'm talking about soldiers. You need to respect these people. The story is coming shortly. This was an introduction of the story of war. Stay tuned, and I will be back with that story.